Hey guys, it's been a while, but I'm back with some updates on my breast cancer journey. My name is Michelle. I have breast cancer and I'm sharing my journey here with everyone. So I haven't recorded actually all week this week. I think the last one I did was after my run last Saturday, and it's been really quite a busy week for me. Very exhausting. I'm in a show. I'm in Urinetown, and we just opened yesterday. And this last week was tech week, and I have not been getting home until midnight pretty much every night this week. So I'm just tired, plus being at work. And been a long week. But now, once we're open, I don't have to, I'm not at rehearsals anymore. And tonight I actually got home before 11 after the show. So I am going to record a little something. Anyway, I did have a follow up with my oncology doctor this past week, and we talked about a couple of things. One of the things, and I don't think I've mentioned it in a video previously, but one of the things that we talked about is I've been having a weird itching sensation in my left shoulder. So like just here, just below my shoulder on my arm. And this has been going on for a couple of months now. It started kind of, it was just like, it would just be itchy, as you have an itch and I scratch it, and then I realized the next day it's itchy again, and then it'd be itchy again. It would just continuously be itchy in that one spot, like over and over again. And then one night I was sleeping and it woke me up. It was so incredibly itchy. I just literally felt like I wanted to rip the skin off and just scratch the inside of my tissue, scratch my bone. It was so itchy. So I had looked up, I'm like, what is this random phantom itch that I have? I didn't have any, no bug bites, no rashes, no scratches, nothing really to account for why it would be itchy. So what I discovered was that sometimes you can get like random phantom, I keep using the same phrase over again, but just itching like that when there's a nerve tissue that is misfiring. So I've actually been told that multiple times throughout this process of healing when it comes to my breast. So I do still have on the right outside of my breast this constant, like, I don't call that itching because that's more like a prickly sensation, but that is still there on the outside of my breast. And this is kind of similar to that, but it comes with itchiness. Um, One thing that does kind of settle it a little bit is to put ice on it. So I've been doing that. So I brought that up. And so the immediate thing is that she doesn't really know that that's connected at all, but I am on gabapentin. So we discussed increasing my gabapentin dosage to from once a day at bedtime to twice a day. So morning, at night, and then in the morning, which I actually haven't taken in the morning yet, have to add that in. um and then what else did we talk? We talked about, we talked about the hip pain that I've been having, which that was part of the struggle that I had a few weeks ago, getting an appointment, getting scans, all this other stuff. So we talked about that. And she looked at the scans, and one of my scans says that I do have some bursitis in there in both of my hips, mostly the left, which makes sense because that's where the most of my pain is. That the bursitis is not going to be caused by chemo or treatment or anything. But what I also have is this achiness. Like if I sit for a little while and then I stand, I feel like my body just doesn't want to move. Like my hips just do not move, and I have to sit there and stretch for a couple of seconds before I can start walking again. And even at that, like it's just pain. It's just constant pain. She said something like that kind of emulates arthritis that can be caused by the chemo. So, we're going to keep an eye on that. I have to go back to the orthopedist and get his take on what the scans were and see what our next steps are. I'm probably going to be getting a cortisone shot at the very least in my left hip. And then we're going to go from there and see, if the cortisone does the trick, then it's just the bursitis. And then I'll have to figure out how to resolve that, because this is not something I can live with. This is freaking painful. Yeah, so that's the update there. I did switch over my health insurance. I was on Fidelis, as I did a whole couple of videos about that. And Fidelis no longer is being accepted by Northwell, which is one of the main medical health networks here on Long Island. And it happens to be the network that my entire oncology team is part of. So I had to switch health insurance because I'm not going to switch my team. So I did. I was able to switch to Emblem, and that takes effect August 1st. So we'll see how that goes. So I am in the process of making new appointments with doctors to um, with this new health insurance. And that brings us up to date. And then I do have a new girlie on today. This one is called Stormy, and she is from a brand called SunnyMay. I'll put the link in the comments. But I like her. This is the first time I wore her. She is fun. I did have to trim the bangs a lot, and I probably will have to trim some more. I have it sitting back pretty far, so to bring it up forward, like you can see, my widow's peak is right there. So I have to, in order to cover the widow's peak, I'll probably have to trim up the bangs a little more. But I like this blue, black, brown, blonde combo. It's just funky. I think it's a good shape. I like the waves on it. She feels super soft. Yeah, so that's it. And like I said, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following, sharing, and share with me. Let me know what kind of symptoms you have that maybe are persisting for you. Or not symptoms, side effects from your chemo and your treatment that are being persistent for you. And for me, it really is this tingling that just happens randomly, and these aches and pains that kind of have been really presenting themselves as the treatment goes on. And I have until November for immunotherapy, so I can only expect this to get maybe a little bit worse before it gets better. Actually, the hip and the pain is probably from the estrogen blockers, and I'm going to be on that for up to 10 years. So that's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night.